Welcome back to Your English. I'm your host, Omar, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for our longest journey yet. Today, we aren't just traveling through the Middle East, we are traveling through the mechanics of the English language. This episode is designed to be a deep dive. I'm going to repeat key ideas and use specific structures multiple times so they really stick in your brain. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore. Part 1. The Magic of Jordan and the Power of Conditionals. Imagine we are standing in the middle of the desert in Wadi Rum. The sand is as red as Mars. If you were here right now, you would feel the immense silence of the desert. This is what we call a second conditional. I'm imagining a situation that isn't true right now because you are likely listening to this in your room or on a bus. But I'm inviting you to dream. Now let's look at Petra. If the Nabateans hadn't carved these structures into the mountains, we wouldn't have such a wonder today. Notice that? That's the third conditional. I'm looking at the past and imagining it differently. Grammar note. Did you catch those? I use the second conditional, if plus past simple plus would, for our imaginary desert trip, and the third conditional, if plus past perfect plus would have, to talk about the history of Petra. Using these makes your English sound much more sophisticated because you aren't just talking about facts. You're talking about possibilities. Part 2. Lebanon's resilience and the passive voice. We move now to Beirut, a city known as the Paris of the Middle East. In this city, history is everywhere. Many old buildings are being renovated as we speak. Others were destroyed decades ago but have been rebuilt with even more beauty. Notice how I'm describing the city. I'm not saying workers are renovating buildings. I'm saying buildings are being renovated. Why? Because in travel and history, the action is more important than the person doing it. Ask yourself, if you visited a city with so much history, what would you look for first? Would you seek out the modern cafes, or would you be drawn to the ruins? Grammar note. I just used the passive voice 3 times. Present continuous passive are being renovated. Past simple passive were destroyed, and present perfect passive have been rebuilt. This is the secret to sounding like an academic or professional reporter. It shifts the focus to the object, the city itself. Part 3. The Gulf. Innovation and relative clauses. Now let's head to the Gulf. Imagine the skyline of Dubai, which is dominated by the Burj Khalifa. This is a building that reaches into the clouds. The engineers who designed it had to overcome incredible heat and wind. In this region, we see a bridge between the past and the future. The tradition of hospitality, which is called karam, is still the most important part of the culture. Even in a skyscraper that costs billions of dollars, you will be offered coffee and dates. Do you think a city that is built in the desert can be sustainable? It's a difficult question, isn't it? Grammar note. I used relative clauses here, which, that, who. These are like linguistic glue. Instead of making 2 short, boring sentences, I use these words to stick ideas together. For example, instead of saying, I like the building is tall, I said, the building that is tall. It makes your English flow like a river. Part 4. Egypt, the Nile and modals of deduction. Finally, we arrive in Egypt. Look at the pyramids. They must have been incredibly difficult to build. When we see the precision of the stones, we think the architects couldn't have been ordinary people. They might have used advanced math that we are only now beginning to understand. When you walk through Cairo, you see thousands of people. The energy must be exhausting for some, but for others, it must be exhilarating. How do you feel when you are in a crowded place? Does it make you feel alive, or do you prefer the quiet of the desert we visited earlier? Grammar note. Here I focused on modals of deduction. Must have been, couldn't have been, might have. We use these when we are guessing about the past based on evidence. If you see a giant pyramid, you don't think it was hard to build. You are almost certain. So you say, it must have been hard. It shows you are thinking deeply in English. The vocabulary vault, target list. Here are the most important words from our journey. Try to use them in a sentence today. Resilient, able to quickly return to a previous good condition after a problem. Example, Beirut is a resilient city, vibrant, full of energy and life. Example, the markets in Cairo are incredibly vibrant, sophisticated, having a good understanding of way of the world. Complex. Example, the engineers use sophisticated math to build the Burj. Hospitality, the friendly and generous reception and entertainment of guests. Example, Middle Eastern hospitality is famous worldwide. Ambition, noun. A strong desire to do or to achieve something. Example, the skyline is a symbol of human ambition. Sustainable, able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Environmentally friendly. Example, can a desert city truly be sustainable? Exhilarating, agi, making one feel very happy, animated, or elated. Thrilling. Example, climbing a mountain can be an exhilarating experience. Bewildered, agi, completely puzzled or confused. Example, travelers are often bewildered by the size of the desert. Thank you for staying with me through this long journey. We have covered a lot of ground today, both geographically and grammatically. Remember, learning English isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. If you didn't understand every rule today, don't worry. If you keep listening, if you keep practicing those if sentences, and if you keep using your passive voice, you will see progress. You are doing a great job. Keep your curiosity high and your dictionary close. I'm Omayer from Your English, and I'll see you in the next episode. Happy learning! Would you like me to take one of these grammar points, like the conditionals, and give you a set of practice exercises to see if you mastered them?